Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201, and here we're finally here to talk about what is the best movie of 2026. What movie is probably most likely going to win Best Picture and all the awards at the Oscars next year. Full disclosure, I am a voter for many of the award shows. I do not have an Oscar vote, but I do have a vote for every other award show. Next, New York City currently under fire. I mean, literally under fire. It is insane outside. I left the theater today and it's all on fire. Everything is on fire. It looks like fallout outside. But I'm gonna talk about the Odyssey a bit before I kind of like go into the whole how they did it, how it's different from the version we all learned in school, which apparently is also not a true statement. Apparently, not everybody learned about the Odyssey in school. I went to a Roman Catholic private school in the New York City area. I at least we went through the Odyssey at least 4 different times throughout my K through 12 education, as well as like the Simpsons version of the Odyssey. I'm pretty sure Family Guy also did an Odyssey thing, right? Like you've seen it. I don't understand. I was like, don't do spoilers because this is, a very old tale. I also want to say, so I have seen the movie now 3 times, right? All at Lincoln Square AMC, 70 millimeter IMAX, right? Saw it last last Sunday, what I saw it, and then I saw it again Monday, and then this is my 3rd time seeing it, right? Since New York City's under fire, there's nothing to do. There's no like going outside to the pool or whatever. I'm going to see it again, but in a different format, either tomorrow or Saturday. In because what's it called? The Odyssey is sold out in IMAX and Dolby and 70 millimeter and IMAX 70 millimeter till August 13th. I was like looking through the AMC app, right? Like they're just completely sold out. And by sold out, I mean everything is sold out except for those 2 shitty front rows and the wheelchair seats. And it's just insane that the Odyssey is sold out like this. As well as the fact that I think this outside the week Spider-Man comes out, where Spider-Man will open number 1, I think the Odyssey and Spider-Man are gonna be, like, rotating between 1 and 2, at least till the end of August. And it's interesting that the Odyssey is gonna finally lose their IMAX screens when the next Anne Hathaway movie comes out, the one with the dinosaurs, because that apparently is taking up the IMAX screens on the 13th. And if that movie bombs, like, I no one's seen it yet, I don't know if it's good or not. Like, some people saw One Night Only already, and apparently they really like it. I'm glad I see it next Wednesday. But, like, if that movie doesn't do well, it's very likely like, "Oh, okay, The Odyssey is just gonna get put instantly back into IMAX similar to Project Hail Mary." And this is where, like, Project Hail Mary and I guess Dune, when that comes out, are gonna constantly be intertwined with The Odyssey because it's definitely gonna be, like they're all gonna have to campaign hard for what the best picture is. I think right now it is The Odyssey, and I know you can go to the Project Hail Mary, the 2 sequences of going fishing, and I'm having a moment as, like, the key things. Like, I saw Project Hail Mary 20 times in theaters. I am an AMC A-list member. I only got to see it once in IMAX 70 millimeter, and that was at the premiere. I have not seen it again in IMAX 70 mil. I'm really upset. I know when For Your Consideration season starts, I'll be able to see that, and I know I'm gonna see Dune early in that, and Avengers, and everything about that. But I have now so I've seen this I've seen it 3 times. That is 9 hours I have spent in a seat watching this movie, and I plan on seeing it again, and I don't know if I could do it like a 5th, 6th time at all because it's a lot. It's just visually beautiful, and I think, yes, I had a tweet that went viral about this after I saw it the first time, after we were allowed to talk about it. I said, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and, Samantha Morton are all gonna get Oscar nominations for this movie. Okay, and I stand by that, and people are like, "Well, Zendaya's only in a total for 5-minute screen times." Yeah, and Zendaya fucking is so powerful in the scene she's in. This is what people don't seem to understand. It's not about screen time, it's about power, and when a movie like this is so massive and engulfed, it's similar to how, like, The Pit I say this as an Emmy voter, where The Pit and, Widow's Bay basically sucked up all the nominations across the board. Everyone's just like, "I'm voting for everything for The Pit and everything." The Odyssey is going to be like that across the board. I do think I now this is the other situation is because of Zendaya and Pattinson, is that Pattinson and Zendaya could be nominated for the drama. They could also be nominated for Dune 3. You get it? And there's gonna be a lot of category fraud. this year because here's the thing, I think Anne Hathaway by default is going to win for Best Actress, which is why I think the Obsession people need to understand, Indy Navarre has the best shot to win in supporting for the Oscars, okay? Category fraud happens. You could be like, she's the lead of the movie. Listen, you want her to win that Oscar? She is the supporting actress, and they're going to run the weapons campaign so that she can win. Because I do think it's gonna be hard because it's gonna be between her and I think Samantha Morton, for that entire before we get into the spoilers of the Odyssey and all of that, you know what? We the BTS, the behind the scenes situation of that camera. I don't know if you guys seen the IMAX camera of how it worked, how massive it is, and how they all explain how similar to The Invite, another movie that if the Odyssey, Dune, and Project Hail Mary didn't come out, that would be the best movie of the year. They shot in chronological order, with the exception of actually, no, I think they said they did it all because the Matt Damon beach scenes with, um, the fuck, how am I forgetting this? Charlize Theron character who right? Because that could have all been shot in 2 days because if reality, all the beach sequences in that are basically 10 to 15 minutes of it because she's Calypso, right? That was, really interesting, and I think how it works, you can see the people get really into it because Tom Holland in the press tour for the Odyssey stuff always was saying there's this sequence that Damon and Anne Hathaway have. It's a 6-minute sequence, right? And you learn how, like, the IMAX camera works and the insane about that. You can only shoot concurrently for 3 minutes before you have to stop. That's like it's about their conversation and, like, Tom Holland's there and Zendaya pops in and out and Robert Pattinson's, like, peeking in is the most beautiful, like, monologue conversation in the entire movie. I thought at first the first time I saw it was the conversation that fucking that fucking Odysseus and Penelope have during, like, they're having sex before he goes to do the Battle of Troy thing, but n both are powerful, that's not it. And I have to say, there's only one, I would say, flaw within this, and I'm gonna say what my favorite, like, Nolan movies are. My favorite Nolan movie is Inception, that is my one. My least favorite, like everyone else, is Tenet. I think Tenet is fucking horrible, even if you have the captions on. Like, we don't have to defend it, you're allowed to miss, okay? And the whole thing is, like, if COVID didn't happen and Tenet have bombed? I think it would've. I think it got saved by the whole COVID situation, and people are like, "Well, it's a COVID movie," or whatever, right? But Oppenheimer, this, and whatever the fuck is coming out in 3 years are probably gonna be Nolan's best work, and it's insane how massive it is, because if you remember when they were shooting in 2025, we saw the BTS scenes of the Odyssey on the boat when they were doing the boat stuff, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, um, they're doing it." They have the real boats, they have another, like, real boat that Nolan is on, and they're doing these fucking things, and everyone's like, "Holy shit." Right? And maybe it's the size because they have over 1,000 background actors and all of it. It feels real, and I think Nolan's movies, because they're so good, inspires everyone else to be good, and because 'cause you're gonna see this in Spider-Man, and I think Tom Holland has explained this very well, is that because of the Odyssey, Spider-Man got delayed a bit because they're like, "Let me do this first, and then we do Spider-Man," and because he saw how The Odyssey was made with Nolan, how everything was practical and real. He wanted to change the way the fucking Spider-Man movies are, which had been this green screen, which has been a problem with the Marvel movies, and it's been a problem with the James Gunn's movie and even the Snyder stuff, is he doesn't wanna do the slop in the green screen. He's like, "I want the practical things. We need to be real. We have the money to do it. People are rewarded for the effort," and we saw that as they were filming the first month of Spider-Man, that entire glass close sequence with the tanks and everything blowing up, that's all real. That's not CGI, and that's why it looks amazing, because practical effects and real things exploding will always look better than a fake explosion on a screen, okay? And I'm glad that Holland doing a real movie forced him to change Spider-Man, and that's why Spider-Man is probably gonna be very good, and not just good for a superhero movie, but good because now Zendaya and Tom Holland and John Berthel, who have done these real movies, are like, "We want our superhero movies to put in the same effort as a Nolan movie," right? Which is great. So, let's get into the movie itself, okay? I've only said I only have one issue with the movie is I think we flashback to the Battle of Troy too much. Also, can I say this? Just want to say this. I only learned last week that the Trojan horse, the Battle of Troy thing is not real. I thought historically that happened. I thought that was real. Obviously, I know the Cyclops and the succubuses and all the other shit was not real, right? But I thought the Battle of Troy with the Trojan horse thing was a real historical thing that happened. Okay. Just in the same way that like history, like the world revolves around like the death of Jesus Christ, right? Like historically, a man, named Jesus of Nazareth was killed on a cross in ancient Jerusalem like 2,000 years ago. Did he have the powers and all that? Who knows? But historically, Jesus, a real person, right? I thought historically, the horse that everyone snuck in the battle was a real thing that happened. Yes, it did not. But okay, so we start with the movie, and we get the whole situation of what we saw in what was that 6-minute sequence. If you went to Avatar, you saw the battle. We just keep flashing forward, flashing through the whole thing. So the movie begins with Elliot Page, right, who plays Sinon, and it's the giant horse, real horse. This is a real horse they built that they read, and they explained how they put the IMAX camera in all of it on the beach and gets stabbed by the people. And it's like, this is a gift for us. We're done. It's a truce, blah, blah, blah. Police drag it. They kill Sinon. And we have the sequence of them dragging the horse into Troy, right? And then we flash back, right, to what is Damon, yeah, Damon and Anne Hathaway talking about their child, little Tom Holland, but still is a baby, right? And he can't remember, and it flashes then to the beach version, which is quote unquote present day of Odysseus talking to Calypso. And, like, Zendaya pops in. He can't remember what happens after leaving Troy, he just remembers Troy, and he can't remember why he can't get home, and it pops into Ithaca with several suitors, like, trying to court Penelope and Hathaway, who looks beyond beautiful in this, so she can ascend to the throne, and we get these training sequences. This is where the part of the movie is like a Tom Holland movie, which I think Tom Holland does amazing in this, and he's, like, learning how to fight because what the fuck? God, ugh, God, there's all these fucking names. Umamis, John Leguizamo, okay? Because I'm just gonna say John Leguizamo because it's just the character's name is this. Flashes back about how the dog, which was his father, which was Odysseus' dog, has just been waiting forever till Odysseus comes back. He refuses to die until Odysseus comes back. And you get the vision of what happens that he was destroying puppies, and then Odysseus says, "No, this dog's gonna be a great hunting dog." We had a flashback of how they hunted deer with it. This movie really does jump all over the place. Then we go back, and the suitors mock the dog. They mock John Leguizamo. They mock, but they understand this is law. But yeah, so Tom Holland wants to travel to Sparta to visit the Punisher to learn more about his father because he knows they fought together in the Battle of Troy. What happens is after Tom Holland almost gets beat up by the dude from In the Heights. Yeah. What the fuck is the In the Heights character's name? I can't even. I am so sorry. There is a lot of people in this fucking movie. But yeah, the In the Heights guy happens. And because of that, uh, Robert Pattinson saves him and mocks him and be like, I'm gonna be king and this or whatever. So some of the what's it called? The servants help Tom Holland, get a group of boats and things so he can go to Sparta to visit the Punisher. Um, Robert Pattinson learns from the maid that he's been fucking, which is Mia Goth, because he's also trying to fucking marry Anne Hathaway. And he's, like, trying to impress, and he's like, "Let me, be your lover, let me rise to the throne, unless me and you have a child, then that will be the heir to the throne." And he's, like, just hooking up with Mia Goth in front of him, but he plots with, the In the Heights guy to kill Tom Holland upon his return, and then they're gonna divide Ithaca's wealth between them. We flash back to, I believe, Matt Damon, Odysseus, and he recalls his past 'cause, um, Calypso is talking like, "You need to remember. Do you remember?" And he recalls the plan he had with the wooden horse, and he's telling it to Anne Hathaway, with signing as a deserter to deceive the Tronans, get the whole thing that we just saw in the beginning that she's killed. The ruse works. The dragging, we see the long secrets of the dragging to the gates of Agamemnon. And then we get the sequence like, they're holding it, they're getting like, the Romans stab the horse through out of it because they just like to stab it. Some people inside are getting hurt. Apparently, the water is full of it. People are drowning in the horse, and then we get the amazing 7-minute sequence of them just of them taking over, ransacking the city, and they have to and then they try to find Helen. This happens as well. They take it over, they bring on the guards, it's a crazy sequence. Matt Damon looks like Oliver Queen with the bow and arrows going crazy, this, and this. And what happens is the leader god, there's so many fucking people. There's the head I can't remember. The head knight guy who's, like, way taller. They diverge paths after they're, like, done in Troy because 'cause they've been on the beach for 10 years or whatever. They take a different way home, and Odysseus is like, "Let's take a more relaxed route," with Zendaya as Athena escorting them. They stop at this island, and they see sheep, and they follow the sheep, and they're like, "Don't kill the sheep, sheep are our flock." They end up in a cave. And this is where we get our first amazing sequence, right? It's the Cyclops. And they see the Cyclops, and the Cyclops begins eating people, and they learn that the Cyclops opens and closes the cave via a boulder about once a day. And they're trapped in there, and they have to learn how to get it because he sees how the sheep come in. They try the second day when the boulder's open, and they get stepped on, they get eaten and all this, and then they learn, "Okay, the sheep are there, we have to, like, hover and no, they burn some wood because they're like, "If we blind him, he can't see us," and do this. So, what happens is They they blind him, he goes crazy, he opens it, the sheep get out. Some of the knights are able to get out, but Matt Damon jumps back inside, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna come up with our final plan." They put up the sheep, and they crawl all of it, and then Matt Damon shoots, the Cyclops in the eye, and then the Cyclops is running around crazy, chasing them through it, and they just see it, "Roar!" Okay? But then what they realize is that the Cyclops, is the son of Poseidon, and he almost drowns, like, chasing the boats, and because they shot the son of Poseidon, they're lost at sea. Then they land on, what is it? Yes. They land on the island of Ea, where there's these giant people who are about the size of Colossus from X-Men, and they're like, "We just need food," and these giant people, they're not like Cyclops big, they're at least 10 foot, begin killing up all the knights. They destroy 2 of the boats, and they decimated, Odysseus' army. They get on the one boat, and they get out. Then what happens is they land on another boat, okay? And they see a little house, and while they're walking up to the house, they see a tiger, they see a lion, they see a lot of weird exotic animals that are not, attacking them. And what happens is the God, what the fuck? These so many characters names. Da, 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 da. The Hamish Patel. I'm just gonna Patel is like, "We're done with you. Okay, stay over here." He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go hunt. You guys go explore the island, see if there's food." They go in, and this is what is it called? Sandra's Samantha Morton's like sequence for the next 10 minutes, and it's fucking crazy. Right? She's like, don't rape me, don't do anything." And she's like, "Here's your food, but you have to leave your swords and your armor outside." And then what happens is they just begin eating the meat nonstop like crazy, and she transforms them into pigs. Okay. Meanwhile, Odysseus is chasing a deer. He kills the deer, and what happens is the spell of the magic of the deer of what she put on this person is just a dead human, and he's so confused. So he follows the path and he sees the tiger, the lion, and he sees all the armor in the back. And he kind of figures it out about that, oh, she turned her people into pigs. And he wonders what the bird, if the bird was a person. And before what is it? Samantha Morton is about to kill Odysseus. He's holding on to the bird. He's like, "Are you sure you want this? So you're gonna change my men back to people, okay? Or, this." And she's like, "Fine," but she's like, "All men are pigs, okay?" And she gives him the vision, okay? And she warns that the only way to reach Ithaca is to cross through the realm of the Hades, and he warns that you're gonna have to go through this with the sacrifice and all of it. So then they're at Hades, and um, they do the sacrifice, and we meet a lot of Odysseus' army that died at Troy. And what happened is that, you didn't honor me, you didn't bury me, and the head the head army guy tells him that about, oh yeah, this is where the story's intertwined because it goes back to Tom Holland after he meets the Punisher, and he tells him about the real Battle of Troy and everything that happened. We cut to it, and we learned that Helena Troy's twin evil sister killed, um what's it called? Killed the head night guy, and I cannot remember the name of the head night guy. And because of that, the Punisher, like, does something to fuck with it, to fuck the Punisher recognizes, he knows that, like, Tom Holland is Odysseus' son and explains everything about it, and I guess this is, like, his growth journey, and they share what happens. I'm trying to remember what else. There's so much shit in this 3-hour movie, but he's like, "I don't know if your father survived or not." He's like, "I just remember them at the Battle of Troy, and that's it." Telemachus is happy, they depart. And back to the prophecy explains that, you're gonna have if you all your men are going to die no matter what. So you just let it happen quickly, or you can go through this route with the whirlpool, the sirens or succubuses, and if you manage to pass through that, this kraken's gonna kill 6 of you. He tells the prophecy, and then you're gonna land on an island, and if you eat the meat on this island, you'll be cursed by Zeus, and all your men will die. And this is it, and then we kinda keep flashing forward to, what is it? Calypso, who's, like, trying, you need to remember," and all of this, and he's, like, telling the story. We go through the whole thing, they put the wax in their ear, and Odysseus is just listening to the entire song, and he's crying, he's going crazy, they get rid of the wax, they go through the whirlwind, the kraken happened, he's like, "You knew about the prophecy, you lied to us, how dare you?" And he's like, "Yes, but you all woulda died if we didn't take this way, so I couldn't tell you." And then he tells them about the final thing with the meat on the island, "If you eat the meat, you're gonna be cursed and you will all die." They've been there for, like, about a week, and then they secretly eat the meat. Zendaya appears again like a force ghost, and then they leave. The wind changes, and then the boat gets destroyed, and then this is how Odysseus wound up on Calypso's beach. She explains how she nursed him back to health, and the magic lotus flower situation made him forget the get amnesia, and she's been fucking him for 7 years. He's like, but he knows, like, subconsciously, he's not in love with her, and he's like, "It's time for me to restore the memory, you need to remember," and he shows the little stick thing that was, meant to give back to Robert Pattinson to show him shame, and the Athena gold thing from Penelope. Okay. Then he remembers everything, and he builds the raft subconsciously. He's like, "You're ready to go back." He's been gone for 20 years. He was on the island for 7, so They were on the boat, they were on the Troy beach for 10, they traveled the sea for 3, and then he was on the beach um, fucking what the fuck, fucking Charlize Theron for 7 years, right? Then go back to, Anne Hathaway. No, yeah, Tom Holland ends up back. No, okay, yes. Odysseus ends up back on at the thing, meets the blind guy. He tells him that they're gonna try to kill Tom Holland. He meets up, pretends to be a beggar, and the mentor dies because they drink the poison wine, and he kills everyone helping Tom Holland, and yes. Then after that and what's it called? The mentor recognizes that it's Odysseus and is happy and dies, right? Yes. And then we flash back to the suitors all still fighting. Odysseus, that's right. They end up back in the main thing. Odysseus approaches Penelope in disguise and he recounts like his guilt of killing about violating Lucy's law. And because he broke Lucy's law with the Trojan horse and killing innocent Trojans, and we get another flashback back to the Trojan thing of how like they raped women and all of it. And that because of this, that is why the rule of Zeus is falling all across the world. And that how they destroyed the statue of Athena and Zendaya cries. Athena then takes right, and that is why Athena's been taking the priest form to punish him in the vision, and right. And then he says, "You need to move on from Odysseus," and while Odysseus is pretending to be the beggar, he tells him about the gold pin, and that's how she knows to believe him. So Penelope says she's announced ready to do the remarry, and they're gonna do the challenge. And the challenge is something we saw in the previous movie that there's a bow that only Odysseus knows how to use, and that's gonna be the secret weapon, and everyone's inside. They all try to do the bow, they couldn't, and then Odysseus tries it. I mean, obviously it's his bow, but he tries as the beggar. They're so confused, and then the dude from In the Heist is like, "You're Odysseus," kills him. Boom! Crazy sequence, right? Oh, fuck, I forgot about even before that, before the challenge sequence, there's the monologue about everything about how and it's beautiful. They do it, they kill Odysseus manages to kill everyone, and then he's like, "When you go to Hades, eat this. Remember, you're a traitor. Sign low. The remaining suitors surrender. Odysseus is injured. They think he's gonna die, but he doesn't. He's like, I'm exile, and now Temaculus can be king. Um, Mia Goth is executed for betraying Penelope. Odysseus and Penelope depart Ithaca, and that's how the movie ends. I think it's great. Very long movie. It's a lot to like I digest. I think it's great. I think everything about this movie is fantastic. Listen to the Big Pictures Odyssey podcast, which is probably gonna go up tomorrow. It's way better than mine. I'm just saying this is what I loved it. Go see it in theaters. There you go.